This is actually my first losing week in this account. It's okay. Like I said in the last video, you're gonna have losing trades. You're gonna have to get used to that. You're gonna have losing weeks. You gotta get used to that. Hopefully you don't have a losing month, but if you do, you gotta get used to it. This is part of the process. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lewis, and make sure you check out the previous video if this is the first time that you're tuning in. This is actually the second episode of the brand new series called Road to Live Account, where I break down my daily trades for the week through a screenshot and also in the screen recording, which I will get into in a few. But this episode is going to be a little bit different, and the reason why is you probably got it from the thumbnail of this video and the title. This is actually my first losing week in this account. It's okay. Like I said in the last video, you're going to have losing trades. You're going to have to get used to that. You're going to have losing weeks. You got to get used to that. Hopefully you don't have a losing month, but if you do, you got to get used to it. This is part of the process. But one of the reasons I actually lost this week, I ended up losing around 4,000. I had to get y'all with the clickbait title with the 5,000, but it's all right. The main reason why I lost this week was because I wasn't sticking to my trade strategy. I traded with emotion, and that is the reason why I started this series, was because I want to use it as a way to keep myself accountable through this whole month. The more research that I'm doing and more that I'm learning, reading, especially through Twitter, or X as they call it now, but December is actually the worst trading month of the year for most people, or in general, due to the holidays and all that. I've actually seen a bunch of traders say that they were going to be done on the 18th of this month, which is tomorrow. I'm recording this on Sunday the 17th. I want to keep reading price action for as long as I can for the whole month, because the goal of this month is to learn as much as I can before the live account in January. So either way, was a bad week for me this week, and it's okay. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to get used to it. The thing that I struggled with this week was, one, a consolidation type day is really messing with me. My bias is usually correct for the day, week, and month, but what I'm struggling with is those days in between where it consolidates, and that's something that I'm gonna have to work on. The second thing that I really have to work on is also my trading with emotion and trying to get my money back when I lose a trade. I need to understand and really stick to my plan, because my plan is I allow myself 2 trades per day, and if the first trade is successful, 1 trade per day. I don't care about chasing price, which is funny because I'll get into it as we talk about the actual trades that I took this week, and I show the screenshots because something happened. The most profitable traders miss out on a lot of money, and that is because they're sticking to their plan, and that is what I have to do. I have to keep myself accountable, so I'm hoping you guys keep me accountable as well. Every time I drop a video and I say that I diverted from my trading plan, I'm learning so much. I'm really starting to understand that. I believe having 1 losing week is you know, something that you don't want to do, but it's gonna happen. There's no way that you're gonna be a perfect trader, and like I've learned before in the past weeks, 1 trade could change all that. You could lose 5,000 in a week and then have 1 trade that's 15,000 in one day, and you made all that back. So that's just how trading is. This just comes with the territory. This skill is going to change my life in 2024, and I know for a fact this is what I want to be doing. This is something that's going to allow me to reach those goals that I have, aside from everything else that I'm doing in terms of long-term investing and real estate and all that. But let's get into the video. Enough of me ranting. We're going to hop on the chart. I'm going to talk about, first, I decided, since it is Sunday and I had to do my weekly analysis, I decided to go through that with you guys in the video. You guys will see my drawings already on my charts, because I was actually going to record this video a little bit earlier today, but my cameras were dead. I did not realize that they were dead, so I had to put them to charge, and instead of wasting time, I did my weekly analysis for this upcoming week, and I cleaned my room. So either way, let's get into the video. But for this trading week, as I can see on Monday, there isn't any red candles for JPY. It says tentative. It doesn't say what time. I'm believing it's going to be at the end of the trading day. I should be out by then, so by the time I'm trading, there is nothing for USD or JPY. On Tuesday, USD has a couple. The red folders are the high impact news days, which most people don't trade on, but I don't have anything to worry about on Tuesday because it's just orange. Maybe this one may have a little bit, the building permits may have a little impact on price action, but overall everything looks good. There is a little bit of news at 6:30 or at 6:50, but it is a yellow folder, which means that it has the lowest amount of risk to trade on around that time with the price, because price action won't be affected that much. On Wednesday, it is looking like at 10 a.m. there is consumer confidence, CB consumer confidence coming out at 10 a.m. So I will have to watch out for that, because that is around the time that I'm looking for a trade setup. After that, there isn't really much, so I will be trading on that day. On Thursday, there is final GDP per quarter at 8:30, so I will have to watch out for that, along with unemployment claims, which could be a very difficult day to trade due to just how weird price action could be. It could have a lot of impact, so easily could be stopped out, but I will probably be trading that day. And then on Friday, to send us off, so Friday Friday, there is news for USD as well at 8:30 with the core PCE price index month per month. And then we have these folders, which probably will have some impact on price action. So we'll be watching out for that on Friday. Probably will be trading right after the 8:30 candle, probably at the 8:45 candle. So we'll see how that goes. It does have a red folder. For JPY on Sunday, the governor, I guess, does speak, but it is tentative, so there's no time frame around that yet. But it is a bank holiday, as you can see, for these other currencies, but I don't trade those currencies, so we're good. So this might be a very good week. This past week was a lot of high impact news, so either way, we'll see how that goes. Now, before I talk about this week's trades and I show you guys the screenshots, let's talk about the weekly analysis. To determine my bias, I always start with the monthly chart, which is the chart that holds the most power, the holds the most weight. So you always want to start and set targets through your monthly, weekly, and daily, and then the 4-hour and shorter is for your day trading. Let's start here. I already have drawings, so as you can see, there's a couple things that I have lined up here already. First thing I did was start with my fib. I'll do it again for you guys right here. I'll delete it. This is the low on the monthly, the most recent low, all the way up to the most recent high, which is this one. As you can see, we are in a downtrend on the monthly. If you know how to use the fib and how premiums and discounts work, in a bull market, the premium is the top half of the fib, and in a bear market, the premium is the bottom half of the fib. So right now we are in a bear market. As you can see, we are in a premium for long. So my next target is going to be the 50% mark, so that we can see the reaction it ends up having for the following month and see if it wants to bounce off that 50% once we hit a discount for longs, or if it wants to drop lower. But either way, right now we can see we are in a downtrend. So we scale into the weekly chart, so you can see we are in a downtrend on the weekly as well, so bearish bias. As you can see, we are right here for this week already. For Sunday, it's starting to go up a little bit. Don't mind my drawings, but this is the weekly low that I think it will end up targeting on the next red candle for this week. So it could probably be an up week this week. I'm not too sure. We'll end up seeing. I think it's going to be an up week because of this fair value gap that I saw on the daily. As you can see, there is a daily fair value gap right here, which I will scale into, but we are in a downtrend. And since the monthly has more weight, I believe that we're going to come into this 50% mark in the fib and get into a discount for longs. Either way, that is the target, like I said. So we're not there yet. We could have an up week and then the next week go all the way down. It could end up being right now the manipulation for the first part of the week and go up into here and then just end up dropping off. But we'll end up seeing how it goes. We are also bearish on the weekly. Now onto the daily. Last trading day on Friday, we had an up close. As you can see, there's this daily fair value gap. I will explain fair value gaps as we keep going into the series, but for right now, I'm just going to show you guys. As you can see, price on this day was completely on the red, so buyers didn't really get a chance. I hope you know that large funds and banks trade on the weekly and the monthly chart, so that's why they hold so much power, because they're the ones who actually end up moving the market. It's not the retail traders. Buyers never got a chance to get in through this whole trading range of the fair value gap, so I'm hoping to see the next few days go into this fair value gap, fill it, and then we'll see what the reaction on price action is once it does hit those targets. As of right now, I just have the low of the week. I just have this weekly low marked out and then this weekly high for a target, and then I don't think you can see my other line, but I do have buy side liquidity on the daily. It is just, you know, you can't see it because of the fair value gap square right there, but once we get into the 4-hour, you'll start to see 4 hours slowly on the uptrend. It did break structure above right here. We are bullish on the 4 hours, which means it's just a retracement on the daily, and I believe it will reach for that liquidity above this daily candle or this 4-hour candle, which is this daily candle right here, this one, and then it will most likely, since the weekly and monthly is bearish and this 50% on the fib is right here, it's gonna go up into this fair value gap, fill it out, and then drop. But we'll end up seeing how it goes. Right now it's going up on the lower time frames, but that's pretty much it. Let's move on to the next part of this video, which is the actual trades I took this week, and I'll talk about all the nonsense that I did because it's kind of embarrassing at this point. I need to hold myself accountable. I need to stick to my trading plan because I cannot afford to not follow my trading plan once I'm in the live account. So let's just get into it right away, and I'll tell you exactly how much I lost on each day. So you can see on the 11th, it was pretty much a consolidating day. The trade itself, I had a sell 20. I believe I saw a fair value gap. I can't find it exactly. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. So I ended up getting in a short. I had a short that was right. I had a stop loss at exactly 140 above the red, this line right here, I believe. Yep, above this line, and I was targeting these lows. But as you can see, draw on liquidity ended up taking me out, and then dipped. I didn't notice the drop on liquidity. It was bearish that day, which if I would have just waited until this long candle would have formed and then seen the change in structure down here, I would have just been able to ride this wave out, but I didn't. It ended up taking me out of that trade either way, but that wasn't the only one. It was just so inconsistent on my end. I didn't know what price action really wanted to do. It was just a bad day, honestly. So I have multiple screenshots from that day. I had some sells, some buys, just because I didn't stick to my trading plan, and I didn't stick to what I thought the bias was based on the weekly, daily, and monthly, which was bearish either way. Maybe the daily was a little bullish because, like I said, it could have some updates even when it's bearish, which are just retracements on the higher time frames. But yeah, it was just a bad day. Having, I believe, one good trade at the end of the day, but I don't think I took a screenshot of it. I will tell you exactly how much I lost on each position on Monday, which was the 11th. I have him right here. Let me get a calculator out. So the first 4 positions on the 11th on Monday were all bad trades, horrible trades, and it ended up adding up to, so overall on Monday I lost $3,531 with 89 cents on the first 4 positions, which I believe I had 3 trades in total that day, which is, like I said, going away from my trading plan, which is 2 trades. If I have the first trade and that's a bad trade, I allow myself one more redemption trade, hopefully not using my emotions, but I will have to hold myself accountable and make sure that I only keep it to 2 trades, and then if the first trade is successful, I'm done for the day. And then I had 3 more positions at the end of the day. One of them ended up getting stopped out at break even, and then I ended up having 2 trades. One, I got out too early and I only made $6.84, but it was because I knew I was trading with emotion and I knew I had to wait for a better setup before I even try to get in. They were both sells. The second position was a position that was another sell for sell 20, and I made $1,853.82. So overall that day I ended up losing $1,671.23 because I ended up making some more on that second half of those trades. Now on to Tuesday, because Monday was a bad day. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, Monday wasn't that bad, but either way, who wants to lose? So this was Tuesday. I ended up getting in around, saw this big red candle, and I ended up breaking structure on the 5-minute right here after this low, and I thought if it retraced above it a little more, then I'll get in to close this fair value gap and I would have a sell. So basically the setup was a sell position. So this was the position that I had, and I had my stop loss up there, and my take profit was below these lows. I had 2 take profits because it was 2 different positions. One was right here below these lows at 138. This was the setup that I had that I thought was gonna happen. Tuesday, I believe, was another consolidation day. After some news, as you can see, these candles was news, and then the other take profit I had around here, which ended up not being hit, but this was the trade that I was hoping would end up happening, but it ended up stopping me out up here, and I have a screenshot, a better screenshot right here, which you can see, which was it was actually even better than this, honestly. What I thought was gonna be, because it was a 3.6. This is what I was hoping for, but never got into it. So either way, you just gotta take my L and move on from it on Tuesday. But let's move on to how much I ended up losing on Tuesday, because y'all know me, way too many positions on Tuesday. 5 positions on Tuesday overall, and Tuesday was the worst day in total, and I believe I had more positions on Tuesday apart from what I just showed you on these screenshots, but I was angry because I kept losing and I didn't take screenshots. Y'all know how it is, but I'm very good at controlling my emotions outside of trading, so I just have to bring it into trading and stick to my trading plan. It's very simple. Just stick to your trading plan, Lewis, and I guarantee you'll be successful, which I was very successful on Wednesday because it was a very good day on Wednesday, and my trade executed perfectly Wednesday, but we'll see. And as you can see, these trades add up very fast. So yeah, Tuesday was completely unacceptable now that I'm seeing the numbers of how much I ended up losing that day. $7,372.28. So you can see these positions, they end up adding up, especially if you're trading with emotion. So Lewis, stick to your trading plan, dude. Trading with emotion at the end of the day, after I ended up having one bad position, I should have not done that, and I'm gonna keep that in mind as I keep going, because now that I'm seeing the numbers, and this is why this is so important for me and why this series is holding me accountable, because I'm going back and I'm seeing what exactly I was doing and what I was doing wrong, what I didn't see, and seeing how much I ended up losing almost 10,000 in 2 days is crazy, because I didn't stick to my trading plan. If I add the 1,000 that I had from the day before to this, is about almost 8,500. Yeah, it was a bad day. The next day I ended up having a very good day, so let's get to that. So on Wednesday, as you can see in the screenshot, was actually FOMC at 2. There was a couple more news at 8:30 in the morning, but at 2, FOMC interest rate was coming out, so you already know that's going to be a high impact day on the news, and I knew that for a fact, but I was bearish because it ended up breaking structure right here, and I'll tell you exactly when I got in and out because I have the screenshots. And then I had this fair value gap right here. I'll draw it here so you guys could understand what I'm doing. I don't know why this keeps moving. I have it right here usually, but I have this fair value gap right here that I said if it gets into it, I will sell because I was bearish on the day. As you can see, we were on a downtrend and this was a leg up, and as you can see, this right here in itself is a order block now that I'm noticing. So this area through here, this is an order block. This price never retested because of this ridiculous dump. As you can see, this is a very big dump on price action, but it was a very good trade that day, very good risk. I had my short in right here. I will show the screenshot like I already said. The screenshot already popped up, but so I was in right here. My risk was right above this high, and my reward was I was targeting some lows that were, I was targeting this low right here, I believe, if I'm not wrong, which was at the, if I'm not wrong, I was targeting these lows right here. That was the setup. It was FOMC, so I low-key could have been a little bit more, I could have had a little bit more risk, and I would have caught this crazy move down, which was targeting these lows down here. But at the end of the day, I can't be mad. It was a winning trade. Next time I trade on an FOMC day, and if I'm going to take that trade, I should probably take a bit more risk, but can't even be mad at it. It came out really good, and I ended up making $7,503.89, which basically would have only had me down $1,000 on the week by then, which it did. And I had a screenshot. I don't know if I put it up in this video, but I did have a screenshot of what it was. And then, oh, somebody just commented on the video. Shout out Lames. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but shout out to you. You just commented on the video and now you're in the video. Yeah, this was a trade. Ended up being a good trading day, and Thursday was even funnier because on Thursday, I don't think I took a screenshot on Thursday, but I ended up, Thursday was what, the 15th? Thursday was the 14th, so I don't have the trades for that day because it was, again, another bad trading day, and I didn't take screenshots of the actual trades themselves, but I have how much I lost, and I can't put it into the video because it was multiple positions, but it was a bad day, and I didn't stick to my trading plan because I had how many positions? 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 4 positions, which was probably 2 trades, so I guess I stuck to that part of my trading plan, and it's okay. Since I don't have it, I'm just gonna skip it. Thursday was a consolidating day. It was mostly in this range. As you can see, there were a couple trade opportunities that I could have taken. Like you can see right here, this fair value gap, I could have just waited until it closed it out, got into this trade, and then targeted these lows on here. I could have got a couple trades in on Thursday, but I didn't, and I can't be mad at it. As you can see throughout the later in the day after the open, just straight up consolidation on Thursday. So yeah, it was just a bad day for me on Thursday. The funny one was Friday. So let's move on to Friday since this is the last one. Let me just calculate how much I lost on Thursday. In total on Thursday, I lost $2,841.12. So like I said, it was a bad day, but it wasn't that bad of a day, honestly. Let's move on to Friday, which I ended up having 2 good trades on Friday. But the crazy thing about Friday is I could have made, in one position, I could have made all the money that I ended up losing and been off by maybe a couple $100. Let's move on to Friday now. As you can see, this is the 12 o'clock candle. This is the 12 o'clock candle, an up day. As you can see, there was news on Friday. This ended up being the price action for Friday. As you can see, this is the news at 8:30. So what ended up happening Friday was I saw this going up, and I had this fair value gap on the 4-hour actually before I redid it and put it on the daily, but I had it on the 4-hour, and I'm like, okay, it's going all the way up. It's probably going to blow these highs, which it did. Blow this high, these equal highs. I thought it was gonna blow past these equal highs on the news since I saw it come down and take out liquidity below here. I just thought with emotion and thought it was gonna go all the way up here and then reverse back down for the day since I was still negative, or since I was still bearish. I thought it was gonna come and blow above these 2 highs, which it did get past 1 high, and then instead of reading what price action was telling me exactly at this point, I was trying to anticipate what I thought price action was gonna do instead of just going with what it ended up giving me. I ended up getting really, I got in with a buy trying to chase price really high above here. I don't remember exactly what price I got in. I don't think I have a picture of that part of the trade. I ended up losing on 3 buy positions on Friday, 2 buy 10s and 1 buy 20. It ended up reversing and taking out these lows once again before going up. As you can see, is now going up at the end of the week and Sunday now, which will probably still try to go up here on tomorrow, Monday. But either way, I was chasing price, which I shouldn't have done, and I ended up having 3 losing positions. I did did make up for them right after, which I should have just waited, honestly. After the news candles formed, I should have just waited and seen what price action was gonna do, because if I would have waited and I got out exactly where I had my targets, which is below these lows, I would have made a lot of money, but ended up not doing that. And now let's get into, before I even get into that, let me just calculate how much I lost on those losing positions before I tell you what the winning trade was, because this was an actual trade following my trading plan, which I should have just waited for it. But either way, so overall with those 3 losing positions, I lost $3,548.09, which could have been easily avoided if I wasn't chasing price. So Lewis, do not chase price. Do not chase price. If I would have waited and followed my trading plan like I usually do when I'm not chasing price, I wouldn't have lost that 3,000, and I would have been actually up on the week because of the next 2 trades, which I will now show you guys on the graph. So here we go. After I got out of those positions because I knew it was gonna end up going down and fill in this big void because it went all the way up, sellers have to get a chance to get in after the news, right? So I ended up creating 2 fair value gaps, and they are right here. This one right here, which ended up getting filled in later on in the day, and this one and this fair value gap down here. As you can see, I said if it goes into this fair value gap, the first one, I'll see how price reacts off of that. It ended up getting in it and then dipping right away. So as soon as it got in it, I had a sell 20 and I had my take profit below here with my stop loss, I believe, on the 5-minute above these highs, which was a horrible trade, honestly, now that I'm looking back on it. So I got it in around this area, and I don't remember, maybe, no, I think I got in on the 1 minute, I think it was, yeah. So I had it in this high right here, and I was targeting these lows over here, this low over here. That was the trade that I actually had, and it was a sell 20, but for some reason I believe that it was gonna keep going lower because of the daily bias, and I had, I don't know if it was this line right here, but could have easily targeted this low right here or this low right here, which was previous spots where liquidity would have been sitting, but I wanted to have multiple take profits. So when it came down here, I sold 5 of the positions and I ended up securing $1,209. I moved my stop loss to break even. I saw it reversing, so I said let me just close the whole position, and the closing the whole position made 1,200. But I could have easily, within that trade, I was actually back in profit by a couple $100. So I had gotten back to 140,000, which was where I was at before, but I didn't close the whole position at that point. So it ended up stopping me out, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's gonna reverse. I have the screenshot for when I got in, and I'll place the screenshot on the screen now for the next trade. So as you can see, the next trade was later on in the afternoon. I waited a little bit. I saw that it broke structure with this candle here, so I said, okay, it's gonna end up going to the upside. This wasn't here anymore. I seen this fair value gap right here. I thought I was gonna come back into it. It didn't come back into it. So I got in right here. I had my stop loss. I had my stop loss at this low, and my take profit was, I believe, at up here. So as you can see, this is a lot of price action for a day, but my initial take profit, my first take profit, was above the bodies of these right here. So this was the actual trade. This is what ended up happening throughout the day. Either way, I ended up getting out of the position, I believe, on this candle right here once I saw it was starting to break structure, because I didn't want to end up losing on the day. But as you can see, later on in the day, ended up coming back up here again, and I could have got out up here, but and then later on, as you can see right here on Sunday, now came back up and it cleared my first take profit. But that's what I'm gonna do from now on. Just I'm gonna have one take profit. I'm gonna hold the position longer for like intraday trading. Then I guess I will have multiple take profits, but I'm gonna have one take profit with every position that I have, and then just watch price as it goes. Because if I would have took profit on both those trades fully, I would have been up on the week, and I would have been making this video with a red week. But either way, that's basically breaking down what happened this week. But I have a screenshot exactly of how much I had at the beginning of the trading week, which was, I was up 40,000. Let me just put it in here, minus what I have on my account right now, which is, so yeah, basically 5,000. I ended up losing $4,912.78. So the main reasons why I lost 5,000 this week, as you can see, Lewis, use this as accountability, and what will happen to your account if you divert from your trading plan, was the fact that I was chasing price, trading with emotion, trying to revenge trade, and doing multiple trades per day because I was trading on that emotion, trying to get that money back. So stick to 1 to 2 trades per day. Don't trade with emotion, and don't don't chase price action. Read price action, but don't chase it. Have your targets. When those targets are hit, take profit fully. I'm not gonna do the partials unless I'm doing intraday trading, or I am doing some type of trading on a news day. But for right now, I'm gonna stick to that, and let's just see what ends up happening either way. But thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. I've been recording for an hour now, so I think it's time for me to end it, and let's just see what ends up happening this week. If this is the last video that I post before Christmas, Merry Christmas, and I'm pretty sure I'll have a video before the end of the new year either way, so we'll just save that. And I'm just excited. Thank you for tuning into this video, and I'll catch you. Peace.